Hello, my name is Jordan Cody, the technical producer for Team LockedIn. Throughout development, our team experienced both successes and challenges in the way we documented our work and planned each sprint. We began as a team of three, relying on Confluence, Discord, and Jira for communication and sprint tracking. We held meetings 3 times a week between 1 to 2 p.m., sometimes over lunch, sometimes as whiteboard sessions. These meetings kept us aligned on what the game needed, what was working, and how our level of pacing felt during IPMs. Because of consistency, we implemented many of our planned features on time and maintained a clear record of our progress. Midway through development, we lost a team member and became a team of two. However, thanks to our communication habits, we didn't experience a drop in coordination or productivity. At that point, our project included 8 different abilities, and to reduce redundancy and tighten our design, we phased out 4 that no longer supported our new direction. The Chakram, a throwable weapon that bounced between enemies, the Double Dash, allowing 2 dashes in any direction, the Kunai, originally a teleport anchor before being restricted to raw 1 surfaces, and the Hang Glider, which let the player glide horizontally for a short time. While each ability initially had a purpose, they no longer fit the game after its redesign. We shifted focus to the 4 abilities that define our final gameplay: the Katana as the core melee weapon, the grapple hook for fluid aerial movement, the single dash for quick forward burst, and the ground slam as a pseudo double jump and mobility tool. With that, I'll pass it over to Jaden, who will discuss our technical challenges and how we solve them.
Hi, I'm Jaden Richards, the technical designer for Team LockedIn. Over the past 4 months of Capstone, we've been designing and implementing mechanics to create a game we can be proud of. Along the way, some ideas were dropped or abandoned due to scope issues, difficulty integrating them into the core loot, or simply because they didn't align with our design pillars. We primarily worked as a team of 2, which strengthened our communication and our ability to help each other. But a smaller team also meant cutting systems we wanted to make and letting go of features that wouldn't make the final build. Originally, the project was meant to be a high difficulty permadeath speedrunning game where the player races against the clock, defeats enemies to stay alive, and collect abilities to get through levels faster. As development went on, it evolved into a less intense platformer focused on using abilities to complete levels as quickly as possible. The idea became simpler not only because of our team size and timeline, but also because of technical challenges we faced. We had to teach ourselves disciplines we weren't familiar with, and often spend days building features we assumed were essential. For example, we put a lot of time into customizable inputs and controller support, only to realize they didn't meaningfully improve the core gameplay beyond adding some accessibility. Once we recognized that, we shifted our focus back to what mattered most, improving the actual gameplay instead of just chasing extra features. Throughout development, we constantly iterated on our designs, giving each other feedback and helping in areas where one of us had more experience. A big part of why we were able to work efficiently was our consistent use of design pillars. By referencing and refining them throughout the project, we always had a clear direction for what the game should be. Everything, abilities, levels, enemies, and core mechanics were built around these pillars. Early on, we didn't have solid pillars and relied too heavily on reference games, which led to overcomplicated systems and forcing ideas just because another game had them. Once we took time to define and iterate on our own pillars, development became smoother and we had much better understanding of what actually made the game fun. I will now turn things over to our final team member. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Chase Weaver and I am the level designer for Team LockedIn. I'm a member of the team that joined very late into the development process, although I did feel that simply having a third team member lightened the load on my fellow teammates a bit. I was mainly focused on designing and improving the designs of the levels in our project. When I joined the team, there were 4 levels that looked like they were haphazardly thrown together to show off the player's abilities and mechanics. Although the levels were functional, every level in one form or another could have used some sort of optimization, and that's mainly what I worked on. There are things that went right and things that could use some improvement when it comes to the level design of the project. One of the things that could use some more attention is the new level 5 that I designed. Although the level functions how I would like it to, it is very much a skeleton map with nothing but what the player needs to finish the level in it. This isn't a bad thing by any means, but I would have liked more time with the level. One of the things that went right was the redesign of the ground slam bounce practice portion of level 3. Before the redesign, this portion of the project felt slow and confusing to the players since they were unaware that the ground slam bounced them. However, after the redesign, the sign placed at the edge of the platform clearly states that the ground slam is a platforming tool as well as a tool to create new paths. In conclusion, I had a blast working on this project with both of my teammates, who you've met previously, are quite competent as you can tell. This project had its ups and downs, but overall it turned out to be an experience that many people, including ourselves, have enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. This is Chase Weaver and Team Locked In, signing out.